Universal truth number 8. 80% of statistics are BS. Including this one. But the whole purpose of this is the generalized mimetic. What are statistics? Statistics are a bunch of numbers that we have that we end up aggregating and applying some form of methodology to in order to show something. It's only as good as the data we have, and just the scientific method in general, we're trying to account for up to an infinite number of factors. Seeing as we're imperfect creatures, we can only account for so many, and we hope we account for the right ones. And very often, certain statistics are used based upon data we've gathered in order to prove things that don't necessarily are proven by what the data is showing there. Like all of a sudden, somebody will be in an argument with somebody, be like, aha, look at this chart of these statistics. And you're sitting there like, well, that's not exactly what we were saying. There may be similar terms, but how you phrase something can make a huge difference here. And this happens all the time. Different methodologies. It's like, well, look at these particular statistics here for whatever. It's crime, inflation, this, that, or the other thing. It's like, okay. When you actually go into the studies, it's like, okay, we're accounting for these and these, but these aren't necessarily involving these, or when somebody's having a conversation, they're referring to this part of the study, but they're not actually talking about this. But we often just go with whatever numbers we feel are better going to prove our point, whether or not it's actually true. I mean, in my opinion, that's lazy. That's why I say 80% of statistics are BS. Why? Because it's often how we use them. Even if we could account for all the infinite numbers of variables and everything like that, it's like, okay, yeah, it's not necessarily even the data of the study. It's how you use it. Because as human beings, language, I mean, we're kind of confined. Because to specifically share what's going in our heads, what's happening within our hearts, to be able to communicate with another human being exactly what we mean, what we think, what we're feeling at that time, using limited language, that can be hard. So folks will say, oh, well, numbers are, they're the closest thing to truth we have. And in some ways, yeah, no, that can be correct. While at the same time, if we completely butcher them and we're using them at inopportune times, it ends up kind of ruining a lot of things as well. Because we've all seen like those big charts of this and that. And the funny thing is, like, you'll see a chart and you'll see all these numbers. Oh, look at that thing there. But if you actually look at the margins, like, okay, so that huge gain, but they're already cutting off the bottom part of the chart and only showing that change there, so it makes it look a lot more substantial than what it actually is. I think this is a generic function of humanity. It would be kind of like, I don't know, sharing an article or a video on social media without actually, like, I don't know, reading the article or looking at the video, because we all know nobody would ever do that. I've completely done that. See? Oh, okay, I was going to say this is the one time I don't fade in and out of existence in here. I should probably learn how to use chroma key better. But I think a lot of folks are kind of on this as well. They kind of get this gist and stuff and everything. And that's why I just like to put the little mimetic out there as well. It's like, well, 80% of statistics are BS. Oh, well, including that one? Yes, that's the point. That's the thing. Because, again, this is a call to think for yourself. That's the thing. People tend to be smart. They know what they know often and well. However, when confronted with something they're unfamiliar with, we often go with what folks we know and trust say. Why? Well, because we know and trust them. I mean, that just seems kind of obvious. But you can look at statistics, look at the studies, read through it. Just think about what it is on your own, and then go to other folks that you know and trust and pitch stuff back and forth. Don't be afraid to kind of just share your opinion, what your thoughts are, because a lot of times, if somebody's just sitting there all day just looking at these numbers, looking for this, that, and the other thing, sometimes they might miss something. And that's why we need alternate opinions and everything. Because if we miss something and we keep on making the same mistake, well, how are we going to progress? Because if we're not progressing and getting more better information experience, how else are we going to level up? So that's all I got for right now. Thank you all for watching. Peace out, everybody, and long live the Elbow Bump.